Today's video, we're going to talk about Reddit conversation ad effectiveness. And do these convert well or actually just better than feed ads? So if you are wondering, we're contemplating running conversation ads on Reddit, which are ads that are going to show up in the comment section or reaction section under the Reddit posts on Reddit. This is going to give you the answer to that, not just on an overall speculative basis, but on an actual case study basis where we actually ran conversation ads and proved to ourselves when and specifically it cannot work. And so if you stay to the end of the video here, I will go into detail, not only just in the numbers in this case study that we went through, but also how we turned it around. Because normally the short of this is that conversation ads don't typically work as good as the feed ads or ads that show up in the Reddit feed for users on Reddit, okay? Which makes sense because, it's just like Facebook, right? Facebook, newsfeed ads, everybody can get to work. Ads on the sidebar, not so much because they more so look like ads, okay? Now, not so much with this necessarily. Certainly, they do look like an ad a little bit more than something on the newsfeed because you're trying to actually pick something to click on there. So it does make sense. But I'm going to go into detail how to set up your strategy on how to set up a conversation ad if you are going to get the results that we had. And then, of course, the results that you can expect from it along with it, as well as some tips and tricks. So with that said, before I get into the content though, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, an online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients any management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability in excess of the management fee. And so that should tell you something about the quality of the information that you're receiving on this particular video. Been in business over 10 years now. I've worked on hundreds of campaigns, including several Reddit campaigns that have been successful for us. So with that said, getting into the content here, conversation ads don't typically work as good as feed ads as a whole do, okay? So just know it shouldn't be necessarily your first stop. If a feed campaign is already working for you though, then you should go ahead and give it a whirl because you're gonna get even more leads, even more sales out of the ads that you're running. That would be the main thing I would communicate for you, for your success on Reddit. Now, with that said, how do you actually get your Reddit conversation ads to work? If you think about how people typically think when they're on typing a comment on or looking at the comment section on Reddit, they're looking for personalized anecdotes there. And so a lot of people won't actually go to the comment section to leave a comment. Naturally, they're going there. They're specifically trying to read all the comments, right? It's 99% that. Your best ad, an ad that always does, that doesn't look like an ad is always going to be the ads that do well, not only just on Reddit, but on any other platform out there as well. Our best Facebook producing ads are ads that look like a news story, paying a news outlet to review us because the ad's going to get sky high 10% click-through rates and whatnot. So with that said, what can you do to make your conversation ad look like an actual comment from another Reddit user? That in general is going to get you the highest click-through rate on your ad. And if you know anything about ads, the higher the click-through rate on your ad, the lower the cost per engagement, and with that, the higher ROI you're going to get. Basically, try to look human. Don't look like a corporate looking ad because people are just going to scroll past that. Because people are trained to say, is this an ad when they're scrolling or is this not an ad? At least now, more so, that the conversation ads have been around for a while and people are trained to spot them and then ignore them because people are always trying to conserve their mental energy. If they had to look at every ad and digest it that they see throughout the day, they wouldn't have enough energy to do anything. So their brain is very adept at picking up what's an ad and then ignoring it. And so most people who see your ad aren't going to actually even or digest the information that's there because they spot that it's an ad before they've gotten too far in digesting the content. The best ads will disguise itself as something that's important to the user that more importantly isn't an ad, so they'll read it and they'll get the gist of your ad before they realize it's an ad. And if it's a good offer, then you can get results then. Nobody wants to see an ad while they're on Reddit, basically, bottom line. So give them what they want if you can. Structure what you have to look like a comment. Make a good offer along with it that people are going to care about, so that when they read it and realize it's an ad, they actually are like, oh, it was an ad, but it wasn't bad. Then you can get a lot of success on the Reddit conversation ad placement, okay? So that's the general nuts and bolts of this. Along with that, ultimately, I talked about using Reddit lead gen ads instead of sending people to a landing page so that you could collect the lead while they're on Reddit still, and that'll get you a higher conversion rate. I would recommend that to you here as well, just as a general overall tip. Okay, why? Because people don't trust leaving their information on lead generation websites. And if you're selling a product along with it, instead of sending them to a landing page on your website, consider sending them to a YouTube video, because people trust what's on YouTube, ironically, more than they trust stuff that's on a website from a brand they don't know, which is something that we've done and I'm going to talk about in today's video. So with that said, okay, we had a makeup brand here, all right? What I've got here is what the results were with a standard feed image ad, in terms of the number of conversions that we generated through this campaign for a 30-day period, and the ROAS on the campaign, which ROAS, if you don't know, that means ROI, return on investment, revenue divided by ads. With that said, okay, what ad do you think here got the best results? Is it the feed ad or is it the conversation ad for a makeup product like eyeliner? The answer to that question is the feed ad. As I mentioned before, typically this is going to be the results you're going to get. The feed ad is going to get more results. However, if the ROI was through the roof and you were just crushing it, it would make no sense not to do a conversation ad, because you'll probably get half the results that the feed ad got. And if your feed ad, again, the results are high enough, the ROI or ROAS is high enough, then you have room to run the conversational ad along with it. That is, if you're using the same offer. With that said, what I was touching on earlier is what people will respond to at a high rate via the Reddit feed is something completely different than what they'll respond to at a high rate, as we found on the via the comment section or in the conversation on the Reddit post itself. So if you want to really get it to work, and so they'll work, so there's similar conversion rates, feed versus conversation ads, then you need to make a different ad for each. This applies to everything in online advertising as well. Like on Facebook, if you try to take that same exact ad that's working there and throw it on Twitter, you ain't going to get the same results. There's nuance to each platform, and then within each platform, each placement. Best advertisers are going to optimize for the placement, not the platform even. And certainly not one ad for the entire freaking internet. That's just being lazy and short-sighted. So with that said, you could use the same offer, but you got to reframe it slightly. If you have a free trial, well, you offer a free trial in each placement, but you tweak the messaging so it's just a little bit more tailored for that placement, and because you'll get much greater results, like I'm going to talk about here shortly. So with that said, we had 27 conversions for that first 30-day period that we ran the ad versus 14 the first month, which the one upside on Reddit is you can get results pretty quickly with it. There's not a huge ramp up period of time. Now you'll get better results as you run ads, collect more conversion data, have the system see your conversion data, get better results thereof. But it's not like Google. Sometimes you have to wait 90 days to get good results with it off when you launch your campaigns. Return on investment difference for the feed ad was 204%, whereas the conversation ads were 118%, when we simply just took whatever we were using on the feed ad and just put it into the conversation ad, 1-to-1. Okay, now, that said, like I mentioned, if you want to get actual good results out of these conversation ads, well, then you need to tweak your ad messaging to work better for that conversation ad placement that looks more like a comment from another user. What we did, this was actually, I take a lot of credit for this. This is very good thinking. And being a great ad person, you got to be able to think outside the box. If you try to do what everybody else is doing, you'll get everybody else's results. 80% of people who run ads don't make any profit. And I know that because I see people's campaigns all the time. They think but you say like, well, why would they run the ads if it doesn't make money? They don't know it doesn't make money because they don't track it well enough. Or they say, well, we got this ad budget to spend regardless. We have to spend it and whatever. There's all this stuff that goes on. So with that said, the way that we retooled the feed ad that we were using, which by the way was a free trial offer, you basically got to get a free sample in the mail. And as long as you were able to sign up for their subscription program. So basically you got a free 30-day trial, got a package of makeup, and then after 30 days, if you did not cancel or whatnot, then you would keep getting makeup in the mail every month until you were ready to cancel. All you had to, it was easy to cancel. We weren't playing the games where, like impossible to cancel, but that was the offer. So, and naturally, if you get in front for an offer like that, that works pretty good. If you're in a market where people have to buy your product or gonna for sure buy it anyway. In makeup, these girls are gonna buy makeup. It's just a matter of from who. It's really hard to explain why you're the best to get them to start using it. Unless they've heard it from a friend that it's good, they're not gonna try it. Do something like this to get them to try it and have a good product that they like, and then a certain percentage are going to go on to use it long term. And then you're going to have them for the next 5 years or 10 years. And so you have to have a good product, but you have to pay money to get the product pushed out there in the market, to get reviews, get people talking about it. You don't have any choice. So that's the offer we had. And that was why we got such a good return on this overall. And the return on investment was not just, naturally looking at the initial upgrade, did they stay past 1 month, but what was the lifetime value of a customer divided by the ad spend we had to get them to sign up as a free trial. The people that signed up for a free trial, about 10% stayed all the way into a paid trial itself. And then, there was a various lengths of time where people, how long they would stay. For the most part, it was right around 6-7 months that the average person would stay, some shorter, some longer, okay? So then you got the cost of the free trial product, and you have the cost of the ad spend. We're still able to get a 200% return on investment, which beauty space, a 200% return on investment is already profitable. You don't even have to, because the margins are so high and the cost of goods is so low. It's usually in that space, it's about branding more than anything. With that said, anyway, what we did was we reframed the offer for the conversation placement, and we said, we had an ad that basically says, guys, and this looked like a comment basically, guys, I look freaking hot with this new eyeliner. And it wasn't exactly that product that we mentioned. I'm obfuscating the data here a little bit so that I'm not giving you the exact campaign offer from our client because they wouldn't allow that. That said, that's the general gist of what we did here. And then on top of that, going back to what I was saying before, you should consider sending people to a YouTube video or a different social media post from these ads, because you're going to get initial higher trust, especially a Instagram post or Facebook post with a ton of reactions on it, or at least a YouTube video with a ton of views on it, because it's going to have more social proof. My favorite is Facebook, linking to Facebook posts and Instagram posts because there's all the reactions there. If you link to a YouTube video, even though it has a lot of views, you can tell it's an ad right away pretty much for the most part. But with that said, you will often do better than sending them to some dedicated landing page on your site when somebody doesn't know who you are. So that's what we did. We sent them to a YouTube video. The YouTube video was a UGC style video. So basically it looked like a customer who was talking about they got this free trial. They say, this video starts out like, hey guys, I actually got this insert the name of the brand, free trial. They sent me all this free makeup and I got to try it out and my eyes look freaking amazing. And then it gets into showing, her applying it and then what her eyes look like and then what they look like before. And that's pretty much the meat of the video. Then the end of the video, it says, if you want this free trial to try it for yourself, you just have to go here. And that's the entire sales funnel, so to say. So this funnel type, this alternate funnel for the conversation ads, fits that particular placement on Reddit a lot better than it would be in the feed section or in the feed on Reddit. And certainly does better than having an ad that basically said, we're offering a free trial of our makeup, 30 days, you get a package of makeup to try in the mail on the feed, which is what we had for the feed ad before that was working. The moral of the story is here, mix up your messaging. The conversation ads is something that looks like an actual comment. It's going to do much better because it's going to trick people into thinking that it's an organic piece of content, even though it still does say sponsored on that ad, which on Facebook, it's the same thing. You can run an UGC style ad that looks like a customer talking about a product. Even though it says sponsored, many people do not see that. And that's what this is doing. It's basically tricking the user into thinking it's a real comment, even though it doesn't blend in quite as well. But it's still, a lot of people, if it's when things are written like this, they're not expecting some company to write a headline like that. They're just not. If you want to have opinion on how to set your own conversation ad up, let me know at my firm at guaranteedppc.com. I can go over your stuff and come up with one. I can guarantee you get such and such results on your campaign. If we're going to take you on as a client, you would know what to go with. We also, by the way, sell ad templates. If we've already sold your product or service via another client at our firm over the last 10 plus years of running this firm, you can literally buy from us straight out the ads, landing pages, the entire funnel that we got that works for your niche market for a one-time fee. We can actually tell you the results you're going to get with it up front before you used it, so you would know exactly what you're going to get with it. And we've done work in over 100 niches in the last 10 years. So the chances are high, A, that we've worked in your space, or B, if you're looking to get into a new market, the easiest way to do it would be to pick a market that we've been in that we know we get profitable results with it, and with a known ad and campaign and landing page sequence, and you use it for yourself, and you sell in a market that our client isn't in, a different country or different city or different state or whatever. Which is all fair game to do. If you're interested in any of those other templates, you can let me know. These are very popular since I started bringing them up on this channel. We've got people using them to generate leads and sell leads to people in a certain market, or subcontract out work. They're not actually doing any of the work, or they wanted to get into selling product. They didn't know how. They picked a product and they started marketing it, and they started making money as a result. So with that said, let me know if you're interested in that as well at guaranteedppc.com. If you have any comments, by the way, you can always leave me a comment in the comment section. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within around 24 hours time. So with that said, again, the moral of the story is here, you need to have a different ad for the feed as you do with the placement conversation placement on Reddit ads or through Reddit ads. Your best bet in the Reddit feed to run ads there is simply to state your purpose, okay? As per what I've found, not using a UGC style ad for the most part, but having a good offer, not here is the new PC that I'm selling, it's cool, or whatever. And unless you got something that's 10 times better than anything out there that in your product category, don't market it that way there. You need to say, we're offering a 50% off flash sale for the next 72 hours on all gaming PCs. Then you run your ad there, that drives a shitload of traffic to your site because the offer is really good. So that's for the feed. That we found works the best, not UGC style ads and not anything else like that's specifically unique to Reddit. And then on the conversation ads, you actually type up what looks like a comment and you drive people to a dedicated place for them to get the full picture as to what was said. Ideally, a UGC style ad on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram would be the best bet out of everything that we've tested so far. If you want to know how to make good UGC style ads, stuff like that, you can also should really look at the content on this channel, because I give you for free all the stuff that we're using that makes sense and that works, and also talk about what doesn't work at our firm on the hundreds of campaigns that we've ran over the last 10 plus years. And I spend 40 hours a week doing ad strategy at our firm as my sole job. If you want to learn from somebody in the trenches actually doing this stuff, unlike what most of the other YouTubers and whatnot do, which is they talk about ads, they don't run ads, they run a firm, they don't actually do the work themselves day to day, and the information is useless as a result of that. If you want to get information straight from the source and from somebody who has 20 years of overall ad experience, 10 plus just at this firm where I do nothing but ad strategy, then you want to subscribe to this channel. So if you haven't subscribed already, you should. Go ahead and do it now if you're serious about making millions of dollars a year running ads for your business, because all the information you need on how to do it is here. Furthermore, I also got a fantastic blog you should check out as well. You can find that at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog has actual step-by-step instructions on how to be able to make money also using the strategies we're using to guarantee results for our clients, with the instructions on how to execute them, the screenshots, everything you need to use them. So if you like the channel already, you should definitely check the blog out. It's just as good, if not better. Most people like it, even better actually. So you should check that out as well if you haven't already. Beyond that, I just want to say that to kind of like summarize all this, I told you about what type of ads work on versus in the feed versus the conversation ads. I would not typically run Reddit ads until you've gotten Facebook out of the way. You're running ads on Microsoft, Google for yourself, because there's more potential to scale and the return usually is a little bit better overall. Reddit ads can get you a good return, but the scale is a little bit less. And for that matter, what we found works the best on Reddit is not keyword campaigns, because their keyword matching algorithm isn't that good yet. I hope they improve it, but marketing and running your ads towards, if you're not remarketing, which you can add remarketing on Reddit to all the places you remarket to your customers, you track from Google and Bing and all that. Now you should do that. The better, more places you remarket to your users, the better, more sales you can get from the traffic you're already driving to your site that's in market for your product or service. You market to the communities, the specific subreddits, because there's less bot traffic there. And that's what typically what we'll do if we're going to run ads outside of remarketing or, outside advertising to past customers. We're going to market to specific communities. If there's a community that matches up with your market, like in this particular case, we marketed to the beauty category for the makeup product, and there was a fit. But if you sell something exotic, and that, like you sell, let's say, industrial cleaning supplies, there may not be a Reddit or a subreddit for that would fit, because there's just not. Then maybe you go ahead and you advertise on LinkedIn first. And that might be a better bet. So just some general tips. With that said, also, if you're not sure, if you don't want to work with an ad agency, I've also been doing coaching with a few different individuals who have been reaching out who wanted help on their stuff. They say they're stuck where they're at in terms of revenue. They don't know what to do to make their ads work. I go through all their stuff, their business, their marketing strategy, their pricing strategy, and around 30 minutes, I can tell them what is their bottleneck. And I'm able to do that really well now because I've worked with hundreds of companies and owners and looking at what they've done and not done and what has worked, what hasn't worked. And they all come back for more coaching once they had that initial coaching session, which should tell you something about what they're achieving in just that amount of time. If you're stuck with where you're at in terms of revenue, you should definitely consider reaching out to me, because a lot of you, the reason why I mention this is because a lot of you guys aren't able to get your ads to work because something else is not right in your business. Your sales process isn't working right, or it's not set up right. Your pricing strategy isn't right. Your website isn't right, or whatever. And I can help spot that for you right away. So anyway, if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at GaryPPC.com. I'm going to wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Remember when I said Conversation Ad S was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.